welcome our chief guest, Sri Suresh Prabhuji. So we are privileged to have you with us today. And thank you so much for sparing your valuable time for this conference and interacting with our students, the academicians, and the researchers of our institute. So moving on to the profile of Sri Suresh Prabhuji, he is a known name. He needs no introduction. Sri Suresh Prabhuji is known as a man of action, having a penchant for undertaking strategic turnarounds and achieving superlative results by working in mission mode. An advocate for decisive, growth-driven change, he is well respected for his impeccable integrity, passion, and commitment towards society at large. Featured among the top 3 Indian leaders of the future by Asia Week magazine, Hong Kong, and his covered story, Giant on the Move, he has been guided by the dream and mission to balance the needs of human development while preserving the fragile environment. In a short span as the Minister for Commerce and Industry, he has highlighted areas such as trade promotion, investment promotion, boosting domestic manufacturing, and institutionalizing evidence-informed policy making, where a focused approach will be adopted. Introducing our agriculture export policy, setting up investment war room, implementation plan for Make in India 2.0, and setting up a data analytics unit are some of the steps being taken to address each of the areas. He was the Minister for Railways, and under his leadership, Railways transformed from a slow-moving behemoth into a fast, responsive organization. A complaint resolution mechanism through social media, innovative project financing by leveraging extra budgetary resources, quantum jump in infrastructure creation, and integrating sustainability into the core strength of railways are just some of his successes. He is well known for his easy accessibility to the public, which not only acts as a deterrent to bureaucratic delays and corruption in the functioning of his ministry, but also encourages new ideas and viewpoints. He is also a believer in people's participation in the working of the ministries under him, especially through the involvement of stakeholders. He has constantly featured in the list of top 5 ministers in India from 2014 to 2017 in terms of both performance and accessibility in nationwide surveys. With these kind words, I invite over Sri Suresh Prabhuji to kindly deliver his address and inform the gathering about the various aspects of this conference. So over to you, sir.
So thank you very much, and I congratulate such a distinguished educational institution for organizing such an interesting program. And I also thank them for inviting someone like me, who is not as knowledgeable as the faculty, or is not as intelligent
No, sir, you are full of knowledge.
or not as intelligent as the students. So I think I'm really honored by the invitation, and really thank you for doing this. Interestingly,
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Interestingly, you are discussing very thought-provoking, at the same time interesting topic. I guess you are talking about artificial intelligence and human resources, right? That's what you are discussing. First and foremost, there has been a long-standing fight between man on one side, the nature. Because nature created man, and man is fighting nature. Obviously, there need not be any answer. There need not be any speculation about the outcome. The nature will always prevail. I hope we realize it sooner than later. And because we have not realized it so far, we are facing climate change. But there's a different issue. So one fight is between man and the nature, where the nature created man. So you are fighting a creator. But as we always believe in karma, there's another interesting battle that's going on between man and the machine. So who created a machine? Man created the machine. So the creation of our own creation, that machine is fighting the man, the creator. Because we are, on the other hand, we are fighting a creator like nature. And here we created the machine and man is now fighting the machine. But for a long time, the machine that we created suffered from a basic disadvantage. Like we always feel that when God was bestowing certain faculties on humans, certain faculty must have kept with himself. It is always a case of उस्ताद अपने शागिर्दों को सब चीज तो नहीं बताता है, सब बताता है लेकिन कुछ चीज तो अपने हाथ में रखता ही है. So far, one thing was missing from the machine, and that was intelligence. Machine could do many things, but human beings had an advantage because they held a unique characteristic of possessing intelligence with them, which machines lacked. We created robots, we created many things, but we still had that advantage. Over a period of time, the humans are also now creating machines which have the ability to be like human beings. Intelligence, maybe natural human intelligence that we possess, or the animal intelligence that animals possess, is now being given to the machines. So we are talking about one aspect of that is human resources. But I will just, for a minute, not even more than that, put across a thought which we need to think very seriously over a period of time. The human beings, or for that matter, all living beings, were given so many faculties which over a period of time we are lost. Some are visible, like there was a tail, like the animals had, but the humans also, but we lost it because we never used it much. Because we do tail wagging all the time, that's a different matter. More than the animal, that's a different matter. The animals possess some phenomenal abilities. They know much ahead of others, particularly the humans, about impending natural disasters. They can sense it. That human beings had this phenomenal ability of knowing many things that we don't know today, like understanding the impending natural disasters and many others, which animals know. And a good part of it is that those tribes who are living away from humanity, like those in Andaman and others, they could sense the tsunami coming to them much before human beings understood or the machines understood, because that had ability. So if you don't use those faculties, you lose it. So the intelligence, once we may start not using it, will have a huge consequences. But that's not a matter that we'll discuss some other time about ethical part of it, artificial intelligence, some other time. I would just talk about human resource that you are asking about. Firstly, we are displacing human beings to begin with in some form or the other. So it will have an impact. Positive or negative is a different matter, but it will have an impact for sure. Because those functions which are exclusively performed by humans are now going to be performed by machines. And human means now one person doing a particular task at a particular given point of time. Now that task will be performed by one machine for millions of people at the same time. It's going to have an impact for sure. But look at the other side of it. Because we accepted it, now it's going to be happening anyway. See, there is a beauty or the reality of technology is that the inevitability of its use once it is developed. When you develop nuclear bomb, you put it in Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and places like that. So once you develop it, will be used. Now, at least we are using some sort of a sensible thinking that countries are signing treaties and saying that we'll not use it against each other. And still we are stockpiling the armament, but we are still making sensible treaties like that. But still technology, once developed, will be used in some form or the other. So artificial intelligence is bound to be pervading our lives, we like it or not. So therefore, what you are doing is the right thing, discussing about human resource impact on human resources. So one is, as I said, millions of jobs, billions of person job can be done by one machine. But at the same time, artificial intelligence is in itself a broad umbrella technology or science, broad. Applications will be many. Like for example, driverless car, autonomous cars, autonomous vehicles is one application. There will be many like that. So you can say that autonomous car means drivers will be losing their jobs, obvious impact. But the applications can lead to even creation of many more jobs. Driver may not be there, but somebody has to still monitor that the car is going properly. There was a Tesla accident in US or somewhere. I don't read newspapers or I don't watch TV. Sorry about that. And for a long time, I never do that. But the job creation may happen in some other form. And the point you are discussing is not even job creation, human resource impact. So the kind of human beings we'll have to create to operate technology is one part. Once we have this umbrella science, there can be many applications that can be developed from the same science. Medicines. You needed a doctor. Now artificial intelligence could mean that you can offer some solution by using the same brain that doctor uses and deal with a patient. Now, the doctor may not be performing the task, but somebody else has to perform that task. Machine may be doing it, but somebody has to maintain the machine, somebody has to update the machine. So machine learning, which is part of artificial intelligence, will assume that there will be many more people who will be working in development of ideas, operationalize of ideas, and actually administering the ideas. So human resource requirement in numbers, difficult to say today and difficult to say in which field, how will it happen. But as I said to begin with, technology infusion is inevitable. So therefore, now let us, rather than saying whether I should stop our technology or not, it's like saying, can I stop tsunami? It is not possible. So therefore, let us look at how can, having developed a technology, how created, I should not be using the word monster, but having created something like this, let us face the consequences of it and therefore be ready. And that's what I think your program is supposed to be for human resource implications of that. So I think we'll have to create new cognitive abilities which the machines will possess now. We'll have to do even better than them, to be one up against them. So maybe the educational institutions will have to work on, because there is an ability on the part of human being which many of our cognitive ability we don't even use. And therefore, they become redundant over a period of time. So how can we trigger them? How can we use them more efficiently? Or those who are lying dormant, how can we make them active, operative? That should be the job of the education. And that might lead to even better technology development. Because so far, human brain, probably, the amount of energy that the brain uses is phenomenal. More than your physical energy, the brain uses more energy. Because brain uses more energy, we probably don't have enough energy left. And we say energy sapping, because when you go for do some very difficult task, you feel more tired than just walking or doing jogging or doing some workout. Because brain needs more energy to do some very difficult mental task. So now, because it is going to be freed from that, we can probably use that same energy for doing something better, and which already we had ability to do, but we never did because we didn't have the energy left for doing that. So I think education system will have to be geared on that. The second part will be, I'm just mentioning point because I know I have to also go for some other program and you may have some other session. So second point would be, in my opinion, creating human beings to do more applications based on artificial intelligence. That should be the job of education. Thirdly, creating protective walls by which the machine will not be able to, in autonomous way, will be able to abuse the power or the ability of the machine to do something. So that again will need some human mind, because now you have created machine, so you cannot create another machine to stop the abuse. Somebody will have to do this. Even if you have to develop other machine to stop that abuse, the human beings will have to do it. So that again could be another human resource requirement. But I feel that under this umbrella, you can develop so many new ideas. So that could be another great possibility for the human resource, because human beings can work on that area. So there will be very, very different kind of interesting development will happen. Education will have to be proactively involved into this, because you cannot just watch it passing by. Education institutions will have to be in the center of it, must take charge and command of the situation and try to create human resources which will be capable of dealing with the contingency that will arise out of it. Therefore, I offer you my best compliments and hope that over a period of time, your institute will be a leader in dealing with the various aspects of AI and its multifarious implications on so many aspects: social aspect, economic aspect, cultural aspect, even cultural aspect, very important. Artificial intelligence is going to have a huge impact on culture. But anyway, we cannot go into all that in one session of 20 minutes like this. So
but we wanted to hear more and more from you, sir. You are such an
I have to also
inspiring-
go for some other program.
Right,
Today,
sir.
in fact, was a very difficult day because we have some important political meeting to deal with COVID. So, but still, I didn't want to wriggle out of my commitment. So I'm here, and I would like to talk to you some other time at length. So all the best to you, and I wish to congratulate you for taking up a topic like this for a discussion. I'm just giving my thoughts as I always do. Off the cuff, I didn't prepare anything. I'm just saying. So therefore, we could expand it into many other aspects, and we'll do that some other time. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Take care.
Thank you so much, sir.
And it's a very
Thank you so
difficult
much.
time. So please take care and be safe.
Thank you so much, sir, for sparing the time for the academics. And your passion towards academics is, encouraging more and more to us to do something. And you have rightly said, looking at this encouraging picture of AI. So we have no qualm in saying that AI will definitely pave the way for futuristic HR practices. And contrary to speculation being made, the job losses will be there. So it will provide more and more employment opportunity for people, but yes, with right IT skill sets. So digital transformation in education sector is also very essential to bridge the industry academia divides. And today's conference is one such initiative. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. God bless you. And take
Thank you,
care.
sir.
Yes, sir.
You.
Yes, sir. You too take care, sir. Thank
And if
you.
you need any help, you can talk to me anytime. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.